I will meet you where you're at, but God will meet you where you're at with the right training, the right trainer, the right technique, the right, way that you need to move forward. And some days it may just be a walk. It may just be a walk. It may be meditation to build you to that next week of like, all right, we're going to go ahead and throw in a little bit more of the cardio, a little bit more of the balance. And so going to stay in balance, we all need that balance. So if you don't go to work out and you get right back in your car and you go home, where's that balance, right?
Yeah.
You've lost the balance for the day. You're going to get right into that one more thing that I can take care of. One more thing. We get on that hamster wheel, right?
Yeah, that's so true.
So just think about it as like, I'm fixing that balance in my life.
Cynthia.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely. My honor and pleasure.
I am so excited to have you. I'm certain many women and moms are going to receive so much from this table. Like I was telling you earlier, they're going to be fed and fueled.
Yes, yes.
So if you're listening to this a day before your workout or your exercise, you're going to be ready.
Yes.
your workout, your run, whatever it is, CrossFit, running, swimming, you are going to be fueled. So, and even if you need to listen to it while not swimming though. I've mentioned to this to you before, but every single time you and I communicate, I am always so encouraged in my faith. So thank you.
So welcome.
You don't even understand. Like there are some times where I'm just like, Lord, I need to be filled in these spaces. And then you're like, hey, chica, hey, amiga. And you're just like, here's a nugget. Here's a nugget. So thank you.
Well, I'm grateful that I'm able to do that. So thank you for those words of affirmation.
Yes, I really appreciate it. Well, I know you.
Yeah.
So could you please let us, tell us a little about yourself?
Well, I am, I will start out with, I'm from Arlington, born and raised here in Arlington, Texas, actually born at Arlington Memorial Hospital. I won't tell you how old I am, but I will because I am growing into appreciating that I'm healthy at the age that I am. So I am 50.
Okay.
Thank you. And I've been married to my husband for, oh my gosh, I'm going to get in trouble, 1997. Oh my gosh. I would always say back in the day when you first get married and you're newlyweds, like, I will never forget like how many years I've been married. And I forget now.
Life happens.
It does happen. So I think we're at, 27 years? Yeah, 97. Okay, someone correct me with the math. So, and then I have Marissa, my beautiful daughter, and Matthew. Marissa's 25, who recently gave us our unexpected blessing, is what I say, my grandson, Liam.
Congratulations.
Thank you. He is 10 months. And then I have Matthew, 23, who recently graduated from Stephen F. Austin with his master's in accounting.
Yes.
So
you should be so proud.
Pretty proud. They both are doing well in their careers, and we have a full house. It's different gears because we are parenting young adults and trying to instill faith, trying to instill health, and also choosing and picking your battles, which, even when they're children, they're babies, you do that as well, right? But as they're older and they're adults, it's like, oh, Lord, help me. Because, I want their character, their personality, and I want their want to have the faith and believe and pray. And and it does come, I see those little, I guess you could say, nuggets from time to time, like, okay, yeah, they've got it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's like, whoa, they don't have it. So, yeah, they are my life. And my mom and dad, they live in Pantego, which that's where I grew up. And it's Arlington, Pantego. It's
Yeah.
right on it's like Arlington, Mansfield. It's like you blink and the next house over, you're in Mansfield or you're in Arlington. So
Yeah.
so they my dad is 81, my mom is 78, and
Oh,
they both are very
wow.
active.
I
They
love it.
they are, I guess you could say, they are my heroes because, you
Mhm.
know, growing up, seeing them being active and all the things that they've done over the years, like playing softball with our church and doing the things, camping, all the things that they instilled in us. Me being the only girl out of 6 boys, kind of grew up a little rough and
Oh,
tough.
yes.
So I got a little bit of both there. So, and I have my brothers that are in the area of the DFW area. So, I'm pretty blessed to have family, and so that's faith and family,
Mhm.
and our health is like the top of the list, and it's always a struggle to have that balance, right?
Yeah.
So I'm blessed to have finally finished my kinesiology degree not too long ago as an older student. You know, the kids got their thing done, and then,
Admirable.
thank you, I
Mm.
finished, and I've been an esthetician and cosmetologist for some years now, over 25 years, and was able to do that while my husband was in the Marine Corps for 23 years. So
I did not
yeah,
know your husband was in the Marine Corps.
yeah, 23 years. And so when
Oh.
he retired, we were able to come back home. And so it's been great. But I have had the opportunity to have a lot of strong women around me, from my own aunts and uncles. I mean, well, and uncles, but my own family, but different women that I have had the opportunity to work with in the spas and be educated by.
Yeah.
I have some really great friends, especially one of my great friends in Louisiana still, who I consider a sister now. So this career has given me a lot, and my
Yeah.
family as well, where they were able to maybe make some roots in areas that we were stationed that they probably would normally not, because I had an outside job and being able to interact with like people from the town compared
Yeah.
to just on base. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that's a little bit of what I do. I love to run. Have been doing the Cowtown as we talked about
Yeah.
before. Growing up, it was like being the only girl. My dad would always say that I would watch my brothers enter into races, especially my brother who's in the Marine Corps. He would do all sorts of races, and I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do that. My dad's like, girls don't run.
Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I'm like, wait.
You just watch.
So dad has come out several times to watch me run in the Cowtown and
I love that.
cheer me on and come in and watch me as a personal trainer now. And he's
Yeah.
very supportive, my dad. And so, but that was kind of a thing like, okay, dad.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, about 10 Cowtowns later and a couple of marathons. And I mean, it's my love. I don't get to do it as much as I want to, as I'm, again, personal training. And then I just recently opened up my own wellness spa.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's taken on a lot. But yesterday I was able to run a couple of miles, and it just felt so good just to like get out and just breathe. And
What's your favorite, the temperature? Like,
oh, well, you know, Cowtown always is like a crazy kind of cold.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's such a great finish. Like after being out there running the half, usually I'm close to 2 hours, a little over. So it always feels so great at the finish. And I don't know if it's just your adrenaline pumping, that it doesn't matter, but always the February time frame for me is my favorite.
I'm the same. I'm like 20 degrees, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I can't do this right now. This heat, it's so hard. I have the hardest time breathing.
Yes. Yeah. And just getting your mental, like, okay, I'm going to get out there and go do it. So.
Something you said that I want to touch on really quickly. You said that you watched your parents being active.
Yeah.
And that's how you all were active. I love that.
Yeah.
My thing is children are always watching.
Always.
And they're being observant, even when you don't think they are.
Yeah.
And so one of Mackenzie, I had a guest on the last season, and I asked her, I was like, so how did you become active? And she said, watching my parents through my window when I was younger, seeing them run up to our house, you know, after they did their morning or afternoon, whatever, you know, time of the day run it was. And so she's like, I want to do that too.
Yes.
You know, and I'm like, yes, I love that. And so you're passing that on to your kids now, or they're adults, but they're still going to have that. You've planted a seed.
Right.
So
absolutely. Yeah, just like with their faith. That's how
Come
my
on.
parents did it. Yeah. And
Yes.
yeah, we battled, of course, being younger
Yeah.
and adults and all the things. And then you come back because it's like you plant that seed and then you're just like, okay, God, just let it keep growing. I just need to keep watering it when I can.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though they don't want it. It's like you're at a drought right now. I need to come here. We need to go to church.
Kicking and screaming. You're going with me, buddy.
Yes.
Well, as our friendship is growing, one of the amazing things I have observed, I don't know why I always say observed.
I don't know.
One of the amazing things I have observed about you is your perseverance. Okay, y'all listen. I went to one of her classes and I didn't think I was going to be sore after.
Don't scare them now. I want them to come.
I don't know why I didn't think that I was going to be sore.
Right.
I had a run the following day and every part of my body felt that workout. Right. I was like, in my mind, I was like, okay, well, we're not doing barbells, we're not doing CrossFit because that's what I normally do.
Right.
And so,
body weight.
Yeah. And so I was like, I'll be good, ma'am. After that workout, I was so sore. I remember telling my friend, I don't know what Cynthia did to us.
Yeah.
But can you share with us what keeps you going? You persevered through school.
Right.
While taking care of your health and your body.
Right.
What was how did you do that?
Well, thinking about that, because like before you do the podcast, she'll give you a little bit of insight on the questions. And so going back to like reflecting on your life a little bit on these questions, it can make you a little, whoa, I'm not worthy, right? I'm not worthy to be speaking about my life and all the things. And then I'm gonna get emotional. And then you start to reflect and you're like, it's not me.
Come on.
Like even right now on your table, there's a cross right here. It's a water cross, but it's a cross. And I remember like, he reminded me like, you're not boasting. I mean, I've done this with you and I've pulled you through and other women need to know that as well. And maybe they have, fallen away from their faith. Maybe they've become self-reliant because we do that, right? We keep moving forward. And if we just do this one thing, if we just take care of that one thing, then this won't happen. And so we're constantly trying to stay ahead and not really like, he's in control, consistently in control. And it's always his perfect timing. And so when those questions came and I started looking, I'm like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Just, it's nice that you see that, but don't do that. Just answer with your heart. And that's what I guess, answering this question. There's everyone has a story. Everyone has maybe someone who has been that special teacher, that special pastor at church or priest, neighbor, aunt, uncle. And I couldn't just say one particular person. I mean, every person that I can say that has helped me persevere or got me where I'm at now has all been because he's placed those people in my life and all God-fearing people.
Yeah.
So I try to do that with old and young, whoever I come in contact with, even with my family. And we're not perfect people. And we go and we try to fill ourselves up with Christ-like people as best as possible. Yes, we go to church, but it's not always in the church. Yeah. It's outside the walls of the church. And so that's exactly where I've seen some people do that in my life. And I try to do that as well. And so that's what keeps me going. That's what fuels me. And then like to have this love like from you and other people who have recently, this past week has been just an abundance of love that I'm like, God, I don't.
He's so kind. Yeah.
I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, okay. And he's just like, take it, enjoy it. Pour it back out to others and don't get a big head.
Yeah.
Don't like, because again, it's here today, gone tomorrow, it's borrowed. It's borrowed. And so what I do physically now, I'm able to do education wise because of my education that I went further with, which was the degree. And then I can tell you that my son, Matthew, helped me a lot. My Marissa helped me a lot. My husband, a lot of things that I missed out on. But there's a saying, like, if you do the hard things now, you'll be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor later,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And
yeah.
if you just continue doing that. And the other thing is tough times will happen, but tougher people persevere, right?
Yes.
So I hang
Come
on to
on.
things that, yeah. And so, yeah, everyone has their battles. Like I struggled with dyslexia early in my years. And then when I got pregnant with my daughter, I got diagnosed with Bell's palsy. So my left side of my face went numb. It was almost like a stroke. And so I still go and get treatment and all for it. And so it was my immune system that had been really, really down over stress levels that were higher than what my body could take. And so I remember that was his way, because sometimes he's got to slam me down to be like, you're going to slow down.
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't slow down.
Yes, you are so right. Yeah.
And some people, unfortunately, it's a stroke, or it is a heart attack, or it's a sprain or a strain or a broken, whatever it may be. And for me, that's what happened to me. And she's 25. And so, however, it will poke its ugly little head out every so often, and it reminds me, slow down, slow down, put heat on it, do your Epsom salt bath. I'm always preaching that, because it's very important. I keep telling people, if you don't take care of yourself, the body will take what it needs when it needs it. And I'm here to say that I do know that firsthand, unfortunately. But so health is really important, because I want to maintain what I do for a living. I love what I get to do every day with being with people. I can be tired, but I never walk out of my job saying that I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
The day that happens, I'm done, right?
Yeah.
So I've just been, that's really putting my faith in him and just saying, okay, God, what's next? So
I love that. What you said about not getting a big head, and it'll be gone tomorrow.
yes.
And remembering that it's not you, it's him. I was driving a few weeks ago. I just told my husband this, and I was talking to the Lord about a situation, and the Lord said, "You've lost your focus. It's supposed to be about me." And I was just like, okay, I'm sorry. And when I tell you that it shifted, because my eyes were no longer, because I was like, oh, I need to do this. I need to do this.
Right.
And I need to make sure that this is seen. I need to make sure that. And the Lord was like, hold on. Did I say that?
Yeah. I get it.
There's a scripture. It says, don't look to the left or to the right.
Right.
Keep your eyes on me.
Yes.
And I was just like, I just lost my focus, just trying to do all the things thinking that I needed to get ahead.
Yes.
And the Lord was like, nope, if you just stay focused on me, you will not get tired.
Yes.
Do not get weary in well doing. And when you do, like you said, okay, then it's time for me to stop.
Exactly.
Yeah. As I was preparing, I was talking to you earlier about how this is like a meal for people.
Yes.
And so as I was preparing this meal, I asked Jesus to give me a scripture reference for you. And right now, as I'm training, I'm staying in Psalms chapter 18.
Okay.
And I'm going to read the verse.
Yes.
It says, he led me to a place of safety. He rescued me because he delights in me. And I immediately thought about when I went to visit your studio.
Okay.
And that particular day, of course, I was working out. Now, this is the time where I worked out with you in your group. And I was like exhausted. And I was like, okay. But immediately when I walked in, I just told my mom this. I was like, there was so much peace when I walked in. And when I walked out, I had so much joy.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And I know as some moms who are starting out, maybe going to the gym, running, whatever avenue of staying fit and healthy is, they can feel intimidated.
Yes.
What would you say when they're feeling intimidated or self-conscious and they want to run around, walk away, get back in their cars? What would you say to them?
Well, I guess even for myself, I have to think about myself. Yesterday, I was not wanting to do it. I had one person who was going to show up, and I'm like, I could easily cancel.
Yeah.
I knew this client is going to end up going to California for the next 2 weeks. And then I thought, like, okay, this is my time. I haven't ran in a while. And I've been wanting to run. And so I decided, okay, well, if she comes, we're going to train. She loves to walk. We did train. And then I said, we'll just go and put 25 minutes on the clock. And then I'm going to meet you where you're at. You're going to meet me where I'm at. Whatever you get done, whatever. And I got a little over 2 miles. I was really happy about it.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling that way, you don't know what's in store. If you just step out of your comfort zone, you don't know what is in store. And so I would say, allow the surprise to happen. Allow yourself to stop overthinking,
so yes,
right?
Yeah.
The stinking thinking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Get out of that, and then just do it. And I mean, I had a long day, and I told my client, was so sweet, and I said, I'm so tired. And she does hair as well, and she's like, I am too. And I said, so we stretched. We prayed a little bit.
Yeah.
We got out there, and I said, we did it. It felt like we had done like a marathon.
Yeah.
We were so excited that we got that Friday workout done. We can go into the weekend. So I would say, I will meet you where you're at, but God will meet you where you're at with the right training, the right trainer, the right technique, the right, way that you need to move forward. And some days it may just be a walk. It may just be a walk. It may be meditation to build you to that next week of like, all right, we're going to go ahead and throw in a little bit more of the cardio, a little bit more of the balance.
Yeah.
And so going to saying balance, we all need that balance. So if you don't go to work out and you get right back in your car and you go home, where's that balance, right?
Yeah.
You've lost the balance for the day. You're going to get right into that one more thing that I can take care of. One more thing. We get on that hamster wheel, right?
Yeah, that's so true.
So just think about it as like, I'm fixing that balance in my life. And if I don't get this workout in, I'm going to be just constantly just going, and there's no relief for you or self-care,
Yeah.
So yeah, just allow the surprise to happen of what God's got in store for you.
I love that. I am so ready now to go do my long run tomorrow.
Yeah. Just step out of our stinking thinking.
Yes.
Just lace up.
Yeah, I was dreading it because it's warm outside.
Oh, yes, girl.
And it will be my first long distance run outside since the summer because I've been in love with the treadmill.
That's okay.
And I'm grateful because the treadmill is in my home.
Yes.
And I need to take a break. If you know, then I can easily do that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, I'm going out in the heat. I'm hydrating, but I'm just like, okay. But hearing this is really encouraging because you never know what, how you're going to feel afterwards.
No.
I met up with a friend a few weeks ago and we were like, someone said, oh my gosh, you're always running. I don't know why you feel like how do you enjoy it every single day? And I was like, I don't want to do it every day. There are some days I'm like, yes, I get to go for a run. And then there are some days where I'm like, I have to go for a run. But I've been changing my language with that recently. Like, no, I get to go for a run. But she and I she said, before we start, it's like, dang it, I have to go out there. I got to go run, and I need to get it done before I have to do X, Y, and Z. So we do it.
Yes.
Then afterwards, we're like, score.
Yes. It's victory.
It is. It feels so good. The other day I ran and I had to, my day was adjusted because my daughter woke up a little, like her sleep schedule has been off. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go for a run.
Right.
But afterwards I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so good.
Yes.
And it's so true. You don't know what's in store. Just get started and you will see how, like, I don't know all the science behind it. But how it helps with your mental is just like
the endorphins that released and your breathing, you're doing something great. And then a lot of people, sometimes I feel like road rage and stuff like that happens because people are not in control and that they get behind that wheel and they think I'm in control. And that's the only part of their life that they feel like they're in control. So we have all these people just coming from work and anger, and I hate the road rage. I know it happens, but when we're running, we're in control. We're not in control of a lot of things in life, but we're in control of that at that particular race or that run or that in working out. We're in control that we laced up. We chose to get out there. And that's what I'm saying. There's that surprise behind doing that, and also the blessing behind it, right? So we're able to come back and be like, oh my gosh, I did that. You don't know who you're inspiring, your family,
Come
and your
on.
so
Yes.
definitely like just I think there's that little tidbit of everyone needing to be in control of something as we are trying to balance our life out. And for me, it's like just releasing and just breathing and just saying, okay, God, just take it, like just take it. And so I'm tired, boy, when I'm done. Of course I'm tired, longer runs and all, the heat that you deal with. But that perseverance is like, that feeling is like, no one else can give that to you.
Yeah.
No one else can give that to you but you and God and getting it done. Yeah.
See, look at perseverance.
Yes. Yes.
What are some mantras or scripture verses, tools you use to keep going, especially on those days when life happens and you don't feel like it, or even when you're in the middle of the workout?
Right.
So like a long run, you're training for a half, you have 12 miles and you're training and you're at mile 10 and you're like, okay, I want to quit.
A lot of times now that I'm older, my son, he's a runner as well. And I do think about my kids, like my Matthew, my Marissa, now my grandson, Liam. I still kind of have that in the back of my head, like my dad, saying, girls don't run.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't do that. And they also don't drive trucks, and I drive a truck too. So yeah, so there you go.
Watch Dad.
He's like, ay, mija. But the thing is that I think about the Chronicles. It's 1 Chronicles 20:15, verse 20, verse 15. And it's the battle's not yours, but God's. Yes. And so there's a thing called mindset that we have to try and get ourselves out the door to do our job every day, our home, our activities to keep healthy and all the things. And so even going to church and practicing our faith, it's a mindset of like, setting yourself up the night before. I'm going to make sure I'm going to get up early. I'm going to, make sure I'm going to get there. And everything that we do, you have to be prepared to do it to be successful. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And so those are battles that people are dealing with whether it's anxiety or it's depression, situational, whatever, financial or whatever it may be. And so the battle, I have to remember it's not mine, and that there's no worry that's going to make everything better, and that He is the one in control. And of course, we're human and we're going to worry. And when that happens, we ask other people to pray for us and speaking it out loud, and also, just really speaking it to, I guess, good existence and peace. So keeping me, I guess my faith is really where it's at. Anyone who, if you were to ask anyone that knows me, I would pray that they would say she prays. That's how she gets through. And I tell people, pray. Tell my kids, pray. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a big prayer. It can just be like, God, I need you. Just simple. God, I need you.
Oh, yeah. There's a scripture verse again where it talks about lengthy prayers. Like sometimes they're not needed. Yeah. And there's this lady I listen to. Her name is Havilah Cunnington, and she always starts her sermons off with "Jesus help." Okay, and she goes right into it.
We're like, we know you're here.
Yeah, so I don't have to go into this 12-hour, prayer time. Yeah. Last season, I asked, I think probably every guest that was on the podcast, I asked them if they've seen how taking care of their physical health, how has it, impacted their relationship with their families or in their careers. And I want to ask you the same question, but I want to take it a step further.
Okay.
And because, like I said, every time I talk to you, you encourage me in my faith. And how has taking care of your physical health strengthened your relationship with the Lord?
It has strengthened it. My relationship with Him is, as we get older, like I said, I'm 50, you start to feel these little aches and pains and areas. And I have friends that are younger and they're like, if you're just barely starting to feel those pains, I'm like 30 or 40 and I've been feeling that for a while. Right. So, I just thank Him like more so and really say like, don't take your health for granted. And, everything that I do now, I do appreciate those rest days more so.
Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
used to, like, you would almost feel like that's weakness, like, no, I should be doing something. Like, I should be, out there running at least a 5K before I rest, or, I need to earn that rest.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, no, like, Saturdays are usually the day. And I know that's a busy day for the spa, but I'm busy Monday through Friday. And
Okay.
usually Saturday is like, my day to rebalance and check what I need to order, what I need to do, and breathe and spend some family time together. And so he allows that physically for my body to work and do what I need to do through those days. Sometimes I train on Saturday mornings. And that may change seasonally, however he wants it to be. But I do give him, with my physical being more praise and thanks than when you're younger and you're invincible and you can and you will and you just keep moving and don't really give him the glory. I've met so many awesome people through training and speaking of his presence and his work in my life, that people that would probably never even speak him or speak of their faith outside of say the four walls of a church, have now to where they can say, hey, pray for me, Cynthia. Hey, this is what I'm going through.
Yeah.
And so physically, for me to do what I do, it strengthened my faith, because I'm able to speak to others and help others be maybe a little bit more comfortable and being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
guess.
yeah.
So, yeah.
That's so you're talking about rest. That's
Yes.
a conversation my husband and I have, mainly about music, because, there's a rest in music. And he said, music now, modern music, it's very busy.
Oh, yes.
And nobody leaves room for rest.
Okay.
And he said resting is also an instrument. And I was listening, and I can't remember if it was my coach but it was a podcast, and they were saying you actually are doing more when you're resting for your body.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because your muscles are repairing, you're rebuilding, you're actually, you're giving your time to breathe.
Absolutely.
And that, I have been taking my rest days seriously.
Yes.
And something else the Lord has been showing me is when we're resting, we can actually hear him.
Yes. Amen to that. That's true.
And it says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Yes.
And, I know that there are times where you're like, okay, this is going to be my Sabbath day. But life happens.
It does.
But he's so kind to remind us, hey,
get back to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I love that rest.
Yes.
I'm in that kind of season right now where it's just like, take those rest days, rest days seriously.
Yes.
And even listening to music now where they allow the instruments, the musicians, the vocalists to breathe.
That's nice.
Yeah. Because especially like classical music and jazz music from the 40s and 50s. Because even now the modern jazz, it's just like, okay, we've heard it. You like, calm down,
Yes.
But even then, like just listening to it and just saying, okay, I'm going to breathe. And my muscles are saying, thank you so much.
Yes,
my body
they are.
Yes.
They do. They need that rest.
What does it mean to you as a mom when to glorify your God in your health?
Oh, well, now being I can't even say the word, grandmother. My name is Honey.
I love it.
So kind of a Louisiana thing. We were stationed out there in Louisiana for a while, and that was the very first time I ever heard a grandma be called Honey. And her grandkids came in while was doing her hair, and they're like, Honey, Honey, Honey. And I was like, so cute. And she said, yeah, all my grandchildren call me Honey. And I said, one day. Didn't know it would be this soon.
Yeah.
One day, I would love to be a honey. And
well, you don't look 50.
Well, thank you. I don't feel it. Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
That's all him. So anyway, being a grandmother now, it just, amplifies that more. I just want to be able to be around for a long time and be able to take care of him. And he's a big boy. He's a healthy boy. He's close to 30 pounds and he's not even a year old yet.
Stop.
No, he's a chunky monkey.
Oh my goodness.
He is. He's a healthy baby. So that all goes back to the faith as well, because I'm like, he'll be baptized next weekend. And so very grateful for that.
Yeah.
And so, it just reignites your reason, your why.
I love that. So who or what is your inspiration to keep you going?
My family, for sure. Again, I've had a lot of great women mentors along the way. And so that were younger and older. So I just think about their careers and what I witnessed, and just think like, if I could be that person, to be able to for my daughter to be that person, my nieces, even my son and my nephews, but just, I guess, again, being the only girl out of 6 boys, it's always like, I don't know if the word is proving. I don't know if maybe God's like, yeah, it was. It's proving. I was always having or wanting to prove something. And I'm in a season now of my life that I'm not. I'm very happy that I'm not. And there's a great peace with that. But I still feel a responsibility to continue doing the best that I can to model to my family. Sorry.
It's okay.
For them to want to be proud of themselves and to thrive, to get that degree, the education, and to do the best that they are equipped to do. And they may not know that yet because they're younger and they don't have that. They're naive, or they don't have the knowledge yet because they're young. But hopefully they look back and they're like, oh, my Thea, or my daughter, my mom, my mom and dad, my daughter, my cousins. I have a lot of support for my cousins too. They're always like, girl, you're doing good. They're, it takes a village to raise, to raise us sometimes. And I have a great village, right? So that's what keeps me going. Like, I feel a responsibility. I guess I always have, in a way.
I love is 2 things. Something that you said earlier, and you mentioned again this time, but how the Lord has always placed God-fearing people in your life, and how you look up to these certain people, And I'm thinking about how He's just so kind because He's placed you in my life.
Oh, thank you.
No, and I'm not blowing smoke. Like, really, like, I think about you. And like, if I post an emotional post on Facebook or something and you're texting me and you're like, it's okay, amiga, or, it's going to be okay. And there's I have a trainer when I go to where I go to do CrossFit. And the first time, she was actually the first person that I saw when I first went, and I walked in and there was just this light around her. And I wasn't sure. And I was like, something's different about this one. And so after I get to talking to her, I was like, I knew it. And just like you, there's like a light around you. And you can tell that you're in His presence, and you couldn't persevere or do what you're doing without Him. And I know you joke around that you're 50, but younger women, you're 20 years older than me, but or 20 plus, anyway, I'm in the, what I'm trying to say, but, I'm learning so much from people like you all. And it really does encourage us when we're seeing you still getting out there. I mean, because you've got your things, we all have our things, but seeing Cynthia go out there, seeing Kezia go out there, and that really does like encourage me and push me to go out there. Because I mean, you've got a lot on your hands.
Right. We all do. Yes. Yeah.
So
it can be scary.
Yeah. So I'm just grateful that God is like, here's somebody who iron sharpens iron.
Oh, I love that. Yes, we need a t-shirt.
And so I'm just so grateful. And the Lord is like, here you go, Cynthia, here's somebody, and so. Yeah.
Well, we will keep it going as long as you want to. We'll keep on with those chats. And
yes,
love it.
For sure. As a mom who's taking care of her health, and what has been some joys you have seen by doing this, by like choosing this lifestyle?
Yeah. Well, my son ran his first half marathon while I was when I became a personal trainer a couple of years ago, and so, uh, although he ran for Martin High School, and he was a 5K runner, not a 5K, 5K. He never really took the leap to do the full half, and so this will be his third one that he'll do this year.
Half?
Yeah, his third half. And I say that because it's a Cowtown every year for us. There's other races that happen in between, but so for him to train with me, it feels so great. I mean, I love it. I mean, because he's my baby boy, and he's gonna probably be when he hears this, like he will always be my baby boy at 23. But that was one of my proudest moments, is like him ever just running with me. I would ask him for years and years, and he would say, "No, Mom," and then he finally did. And then now my baby girl, Marissa, she personal trains with us, and you got to meet her.
Yeah.
She's regular, and she's asking me questions about different things like her health and now post baby, and that's really hard. And it has helped me to connect with her on a different level of like the things that I think I take for granted of what I do on a regular basis, that she's recognizing like, oh, my mom has done this forever. She knows what she's doing. And maybe she'll take it and it maybe goes in one ear and goes out the other. But when she really does need to hydrate and do the protein and do all the things, she's like, Mom, what should I do? And so yes, those are the things. And then bringing my parents together, like forever training, they were coming out. They were one of my biggest supporters to be there. And a lot of my friends and people that I train know and love my parents. And so
your mom is a sweetheart.
Thank you. Yes, you got to meet my mom. Yeah, she is something else, I'll tell you. So if y'all haven't met my mom, I can be telling her to do jumping jacks and she's out there dancing.
Yeah,
I'm like,
love
Mom.
it.
She's like, what? They love to dance. My parents love to dance, and I do too. But we don't get out to dance as much as they still do. Some way, somehow, they still do. Yeah. So that's what it has happened. And my husband, of course, he's a great supporter as well, as far as going out. And when I personal train, especially on Saturdays, he'll bring some of the equipment out, and It's been a family event. A family. My brothers have been out to support my sister-in-laws and my cousins.
Yeah,
I can't leave them out, and they come all the way from Dallas. They come all the way from Fort Worth.
I love that. It's one of my friends. I think it was her first. I'm thinking it was her first marathon 2 years ago now.
Okay.
And her family, not just her husband.
Yeah.
Not just her 2 sons.
Okay.
Her husband's side. Her side.
Wow. Okay.
And cousins.
Oh, wow.
Were all there.
That's awesome.
And I was like, ma'am. And she said, oh, when we do something, the whole family.
Big.
And I was just like, this is beautiful. Yeah. So hearing you, that just warms my heart. I feel like when we're doing those hard things, and friends are amazing. Don't get me wrong. But when you have blood, they're saying, because they, especially like your husband and your kids, they've seen you training. Yes. And they're just like, come on, you've got it. They're kind of like training with you. Yeah.
They're like, I know you can.
Yeah. Yes. It's like my husband, a few days ago, I said, I can't do my long run this day because this is happening. And he was like, go on this day. And so I'm like,
no excuses.
Yeah.
That's right. You're like, you really are paying attention, aren't you?
Yeah. A part of me was just like, I can just hit no on the plan. I skipped it today and then just do my regular plan next week. But no, that's why I say they're training with us. And then they're also having to pick up, the slack or areas where we're just like doing. I haven't done an 18-mile run, but when, we do those long distance runs, regardless of the distance, and then you're coming and you're like, my legs are shot. You're watching baby today. Yes. You're cooking or whatever it is. Yeah. So having family with you there, I feel that it's very important, especially on those race days.
Absolutely.
It high rocks, whatever. Yeah, for sure. When moms are struggling to persevere, especially when their plates are full, what would you say to them? Like, what is some encouragement or inspiration that you can give them?
Well, when you just said that, I mean, all of a sudden it just poured on me. Like whenever I was a single mom, I was married,
Uh-huh.
but he was deployed, and then we moved from Arlington, where all my support system is, to Yuma, Arizona, which is like desert. I mean, it looked like a prison to me when we had barbed wire all around it.
Oh, wow.
Any Marine, anyone knows that if they've ever been to Yuma, it's for desert training, and to live out there, it was like, oh my goodness. So I had my daughter, who was like 6 months old, and then surprise, I expected Matthew while we were there, and he was actually born in Yuma. We call him a Human, Yuma, Arizona. And so they're 2 weeks, they're 2 years and 2 weeks apart. And so one of the biggest things, and it's just like it was yesterday, trying to nurse my son, and then your daughter's trying to get potty trained, and you have no one. Like, you have no one.
Oh, wow.
And you are, okay, I know there's families here. It's like living in an apartment, and you got neighbors and all, and you know there's other military moms, but you don't know anyone. And it's like you have no family, and it's all you. And I remember this one particular incident. It was me trying to nurse Matthew, or he was latched on, and then Marissa's like, I got to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to grab as best as I can to get her undressed to go to the bathroom. And then she's like, I'm going to end up going. And I'm like, just go in your pants. Like, I'm just crying. And then she goes, and she's crying, and I'm crying, and he's crying. I'm against the wall. Like, oh my God, like this cannot be like my military life. This cannot be, God, you got to help me. Like, and then of course, get her cleaned up, get her bathed. Of course, that was a moment. But for women, for moms, you do, whether you have one child or you have 10, you're always being pulled thin, and you may even have your husband who's in the house, and you still feel like you're alone. They're working from home, they're traveling, or whatever it may be. So it's been a while since I've been a mom, but those times never go away. And those are times that you hang on to, like, okay, those are really building your character. Those are really building your faith. And it did get better. And then, like now with my daughter being a mom, seeing her go through some times, every so often I'll drop that little, well, one time whenever I was by myself without your dad, and you have all of us, and she's like, I don't want to hear it, Mom, but yeah, I mean, for single moms or just moms in general, even if it's just planning a nice hot shower for yourself, and you're putting your PJs out. That's what I tell a lot of my clients. I'm like, put your PJs out. A lot of people don't have baths anymore. They're making like these walk-in showers and all the things. So if you're not able to have a bath, to do an Epsom salt bath to get yourself detoxed and just get ready for bed at night, just get a nice hot shower in. But plan something small for yourself. Put your PJs out for yourself. Put something like a candle, put some kind of lotion next to it. So when you're doing the hustle and bustle, when you come into that bathroom, that's your little sanctuary where you're like, I'm going to spend like 5 minutes of just like crying in the shower, lots of crying in the shower, for me at least, in the bathroom, whatever. So you're just recollecting, kind of replenishing yourself, and then just have a really good night's sleep. Try not to be connected at night. There's a new, I found it on my phone with like the social media with Facebook and Instagram. You can put a timer on there. I guess a lot of people know that, but I didn't. And I found it. I'm like, oh, this is so good. And the other day I had put it, I think it says 10 o'clock or 10:30, and it says, your time is not up till, I'm like, no. You can manage it. I was like, give me 15 more minutes, So I do know that is very good for you to just like make yourself get off of that and just shut down, do your prayer, do the things, and just treating yourself, I guess. It doesn't have to cost a lot.
Right. Yeah.
Just plan it.
When we had our daughter, and at that time, my husband was traveling 272 days out of the year.
Oh my goodness.
And
it's a lot.
Yeah. But people used to always ask me, how do you do that? And I'm like, he comes home happy. So I'm fine with it. Happy. Yeah. But to go back to what you were saying when your husband was deployed and you were doing it by yourself, I remember asking the Lord, what do I do?
Mhm.
Because
Oh, yes.
my sister was here, but she was also working. So sometimes it would just be me and Ava.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's a lot.
again, thinking and talking about the kindness of God, he knows that I've enjoyed running since I was 14.
Okay.
And a treadmill. We were able to get a treadmill.
Okay.
And that was my way of,
Yes.
and it was so
Your time.
awesome because Ava was, probably 6 or 8
Okay.
months, maybe 1. I don't remember exactly the time frame, but she had the, oh my gosh, I forgot what you call it when you put a kid in toys.
Oh, the little blue thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I get it. Yes, yes,
The
yes.
thing where they can play. She
Yeah.
was able.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Well, it was next to my treadmill and I could watch her
Nice.
while I'm running.
Yeah.
But what was it was great it was also kind of like beneficial for her too because she liked the hum of the treadmill. So sometimes she would just go to sleep.
Uh-huh. That was the white noise before we had white noise apps, right?
Yeah. Yep. And so just like you said, finding time to take care of yourself. Because I've never been like I've heard you talk about Epsom salt baths, and I do them.
Yeah, good.
Because I can hear you in my head.
Yes.
But I've never been like a soaker, but and so that was my way of like
decompressing and scheduling yourself. It's like being really intentional, and that's so hard for us to do for ourselves. And when you do it, you're like, why haven't I done this?
Oh my gosh,
before now. I mean, the other day I got my hair done, and I've been doing my own hair for a long,
it looks
long
good.
time.
I keep looking at it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And when I went, I was like, okay, it was so hard to give up and trust, right? And give that control up. And that's being honest. And so I sat and I was like, okay, I know what she's going to do next because I've been a cosmetologist for a while, but I don't do hair so much anymore. And so, but to finally get myself taken care of, I'm like, I preach this so much to people. And then I'm like, oh, Cynthia, you need to do this and get on her schedule and do it on a regular. It was a nice little conditioner and trim and then a blowout. You just feel so special. Yeah. And we deserve that. We deserve to feel, if for a little bit, just a replenishment, I guess you could say, right? We may not be able to afford it all the time. So if it's the treadmill or if it's taking off on a run or it's the bath or it's just making yourself some good tea, in the evenings or making yourself a good coffee in the morning, doesn't have to cost a whole lot. You can do so much, but schedule yourself, and then also having the time with the Lord, just giving yourself that permission is what I think we lack. And as women, it's like if someone tells us, like the doctor tells you, or your trainer tells you, or then you're gonna do it. Yeah, right?
It's so true.
We need to tell ourselves a little bit more and just remember what all we are doing and what all we need to do. And we can't do that unless we have that self-care.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Well, Cynthia.
Yes,
I have some fun questions for you.
All right. Did you put a little bit of tequila in this one?
No, these are easy, fun questions.
How fun is this going to be?
No, it's just questions about yourself.
Okay.
So I know you like to travel.
Yes.
And so what's your favorite place to vacation?
Italy. Italy was like so beautiful and awesome. I went a few years back with our church, St. Mary Goretti, with a couple of the priests, and then also some sisters in Christ. And it was so much fun. I mean, we had a great time, and we got to do different cathedrals and Amalfi. And because it was a pilgrimage, we got to pray at different cathedrals that we would never have access to, but because we were with our priest.
Wow.
Yeah. It was just really beautiful. And I would love to go back and be able to do that again, but that was a chance of a lifetime, and be able to take my family to Italy. But we went to a lot of the sacred places. We went to the Vatican. We got to see the Pope. It was just, and we got to have mass. And so it was really, yes, a big, I think, pivotal part of my life. And I want to go back.
I get it. I went to Israel in 2008 and we went to a lot of cathedrals.
Yes.
I have been to many after, and I still haven't seen any
No, or the feeling that you
Yeah.
had. Yeah.
It was very beautiful. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, Caleb, we're going to go to Italy.
Yes. Yes. I need to go to Israel.
Yeah, I can already see my husband shaking his head. Like,
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
what's your favorite time of the day to work out?
In the evening,
Okay.
unfortunately, I mean, you have your early owls and you have your night owls. And it's not by choice. It just seems like it's happened over the years that, I'll work and then I get home. And by the time I decompress, I have all this adrenaline happening from training. And so I will utilize that.
Yeah.
And when I was going to school, I was doing night school.
Oh,
And so I would come home and do like a virtual workout in the garage. And you come back in, I could take my shower. The house is quiet.
you worked out after you were at school?
Yes, I had to.
Oh my
I would come home
gosh.
and my husband's like, what are you doing? And I have the treadmill. I have everything in the garage. I mean, I guess that's why I guess I knew I was in the right profession because I'm like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. Right. So I do. I still have my garage set up that way. I don't hit it as often because now I'm at the spa there. But yes, in the evening, 6:30ish. Yeah.
I used to be a night runner.
Right.
But this is when I was still living with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I often think about this because I always think I was on my feet for 8 hours. I used to work at a little health cafe.
Uh-huh.
And it was their hours were kind of like office hours.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would come home after being on my feet for 8 hours and go running.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know if I could do that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, sometimes my body just wakes up at 3 a.m.
Right.
And I get up and I do what I need to do. I spend time with the Lord and I'm like, I'm ready to go.
Yes.
And then about 7 o'clock in the evening, I'm just like, okay, yeah. And so when you were asking me to do the evening workout, and I was just like,
I'm going to bed.
Okay, I'm going to mentally prepare for this, because even when I used to run with the group, I actually stopped going.
Yeah,
in the evenings because
yeah.
I was just like 6:30. I'm tired.
Yeah, you're getting it done. However, yeah, even though it's not. I mean, you have early morning people that are like 4 a.m. I guess that's you. Are you 4 a.m., 5 a.m.?
We start at 5, but I get up at 3 just to get prepared. Yeah. Especially like if I do a long run, and if the long run, like for example, my long run tomorrow starts at 7, so I'm going to have to get up at 4 to hydrate and eat and do all the things that runners have to do before they go. And so, it's a whole thing.
It is.
It's like training is like a full-time job.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And I've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure. My thing is one and fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So as I really enjoy the shorter distances.
Okay.
But
so this may be just something that you're going to be able to get done. And it was something that you wouldn't be able to go later on in life and be like, okay, I wish I would have done it when I was younger, or I wish I would have done it when I was fitter or whatever.
Yeah.
Fitter. But all the things, you don't want to have any regrets. I guess that's what I'm saying.
I don't.
So,
I definitely don't have any regrets doing this training.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you had not made that step, you may.
Yeah.
Right. So you can be that one and done, or, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Or the surprise might be around the corner where God's like, guess what? You're going to do it again. Right.
Yeah.
But right now it has become, especially because of the season. So I tell a lot of my people that I'm training right now, they're like, oh, it's so hard just getting here. And I'm like, we're hitting all of these different temperatures and your body's not adapting and you're not hydrating the way that you need to. You're not eating the way that you need to. I mean, some days you're perspiring a little bit more or some days it's like, oh, this is nice and cozy weather. I mean, so it takes a toll on the body as well with training, whether you're training indoors or outdoors. So just know true. That too. Okay. We have had just bipolar weather.
My
here.
goodness, when we had that little cold front.
Mm-hmm. It was
like,
gorgeous.
I know. I was like, it's coming. It's
so exciting.
And then it's
Yeah.
like 1,000 degrees today.
Yeah. That was like Labor Day, I think. Everyone was like, oh my goodness, this is the first time we felt this in September. And then boom.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was, you know how like Facebook has those memories?
Yeah.
And it posted an old memory of something that I posted last year. And it was like, I don't know why I thought that I could go running in the middle of the day in September, living in Texas. And it was like, why did I choose this hobby?
Yeah.
Like,
because it was a really hot summer last year, like 110 probably like right now still. I think we were triple digits for a long time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe fencing could be an option. Can you see me in a fencing outfit?
Good luck.
Probably not. What's a family fun day for you all?
Well, holidays are great. I mean, but fun days, I mean, we have a camper trailer. And so two of my brothers have boats, and two of them have swimming pools. We like water, we like camping, we like all the things. So one of those, either at the pool or camping. So, and because I'm the only one that has the trailer, one of them will bring the boat out and I bring the camper, and we just kind of do like we used to when we were younger, which my dad used to have a motorhome. So we grew up always going and doing the things. So we don't go too far now. We usually stay around not too far from here. And so those are what I look forward to. And my family members do too. So yeah.
Cynthia, where can people find more information about your is it it's a
wellness spa.
Okay.
And so you can do Cynthia Garcia on Facebook. It's Cynthia's Wellness and Fitness on Instagram.
Okay.
So yes. And then I have Messenger, so you can message me. Those are probably the easiest way to reach me. And then I will respond to you, being that I'm a night owl. It doesn't matter. I mean, you may be asleep, but I'll apologize and hopefully not wake you up. No, you can message me no matter how late it is, and I may get back to you that day or the next day. A lot of my clients like that because sometimes if they've got like an issue that happened the night before, whether they're having migraines or whatever, and they're like, it's late, Cynthia, but tomorrow are you able to get me in because I just cannot function. And so those are the things that is a positive as far as having a good rapport with my clients and just messaging me, not doing this whole app thing. I'm still very analog with a lot of stuff. And so I ask a bunch of questions before they come in. It's not just like, oh, get on my table and let's just get you in for an hour. No, there's a lot that goes into coming in to get your rebalancing and training as well.
So it's like a consultation.
It is.
Okay.
Well,
yes, ma'am. Cynthia, I'm so grateful for our friendship. Like, I really do value it.
Same.
And thank you so much for taking time out of your Saturday to feed not just our viewers, but me also. I will be listening to this when I work out.
Yes. Keep going. You got this.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. It was a pleasure and an honor. And I pray over this podcast with you and I'll keep sharing. And whoever you interview, that they continue feeding your meal. That you're preparing for us. So,
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. Bye.
Bye.